A few kilometers east of Quebec City, between the sea and the mountains, stands the shrine of Ste Anne de Beaupre. First began in the Eastern world and then spread to the West, the devotion to St. Anne, grandmother of Jesus, was adopted by the French Catholics in the 17th century. Naturally, it was engraved in the hearts of our ancestors, the founders of New France. In 1658, during the construction of the first chapel, the healing of Louis Guimont was to be the first of many favors received. In 1665, Marie de l'Incarnation wrote, "There paralytics walk, the blind recover their sight, and the sick, whatever be their malady, recover their health." Ever since this time, pilgrims from all the world continue to come by foot, by car, by bus, by boat, and some time ago, even by train. When pilgrims come to the shrine, they certainly admire the beauty of the place, but more importantly, come to experience a time of peace and calm, to rediscover the source and to be replenished by it. Isn't this what makes us pilgrims? Searching for God?
What makes a person a pilgrim is an interior disposition. Wonderful words. Somebody who's searching, looking for something. Sometimes they don't know exactly how to explain what they're looking for, but they know they're missing something in their life. Their pilgrimage may be to a place such as the Basilica here at Ste Anne de Beaupre or l'Oratoire Saint-Joseph in Montreal, or it may be a simple pilgrimage going to a local parish church. But they're searching for that experience of God in their lives. As we come here on pilgrimage, many of us come from great distances. The time spent in the traveling is spent in prayer. Our whole experience coming up here and returning home is one that's supported by that prayer to remind us that we're coming here for that very specific reason, to open ourselves to the experience of the divine. There's a certain air about the place. When you come into the Basilica, and even on the grounds here in the front, you can sense that already there's something special about the place. And it's something that just continues to develop in your mind as you walk around, as you hear people, as you watch people, attend the different religious services here. So there's that umbrella kind of feeling of faith, of holiness that surrounds the place and that kind of holds everybody as though they were being held by Grandmother St. Anne's hands. It's an experience that comes from the whole place. And I don't mean just the buildings or the grounds. I mean the people. There's a simpleness and a profoundness to the faith of the people who come here that is something that one doesn't experience very often or in very many places. So it's that really touches the heart and soul of the individual that keeps them coming. It's what keeps me coming.
Well, the first impression that I get is that it's so big. And you come in and it's like, whoa. But then when you come in, it's just like you have an atmosphere of being at home, really. I mean, I come from Newfoundland, I come from far away, and it's just like being at home. First you think it's so big, how would you be able to feel at home with so many people walking around? But as soon as you enter the Basilica, you really have that atmosphere of home.
The atmosphere here in different areas, it's peaceful. Families come through, so you'll have a lot of children. You hear the sounds and voices of children and people talking and seeing what's all around them. So it's an all-encompassing place that caters to very, very many people.
There's a magic in there. I mean, I walked in there the first day this year, and it struck me. I mean, I got kind of emotional, I'll tell you. And from there, you can go anywhere. The people are awesome here. The spirituality is great. I mean, it's unmatched. It's just above anything I've ever seen. So I can remember homilies I heard 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I can see the priest. I can see him saying it, how he said it, the stresses on the words, and what he said too. I remember one year the priest talked about family and how just sitting after dinner it makes a difference. And I tell you, I've sat with my family after dinner ever since. So it's little things, but a lot of little things add up. It changes how you think, changes what you do because of it.
You can sit here in the silence and just be with God. After being here a couple of days, I can't tell you what day of the week it is. I don't remember what bills I still have to pay this month. There's a connection that you feel compelled to return to every year, every chance you get, not just at novena time.
It's a place that's known all over Ste Anne de Beaupre. So no matter what language you speak, people, they come to pray and to hope. And it's like a retreat, you know. It's the pilgrimage is 9 days. And so it's a place to get away from everything and really pray and feel that you're connected with God.
I say it's an overwhelming feeling I have inside, and I always look up at St. Anne up there, and it makes me have a tear come to my eye. It's very special to me. I can't explain it. It's something up there that I can't explain. It's just a feeling, and the only thing I can say is it's God touching my heart.
I like being here. I mean, yes, there may be a lot, you might have the impression that there's a lot of elderly people, a lot of older people coming, but me personally, I just like it. I like the feeling here, and it's not just old people who come. You see young people, you see families, you see couples coming, and it's like a home, and it's like a family. Everybody's invited.
One thing I've noticed is people here are from all over. I've seen people from different countries. I even talked to one family that wasn't Catholic. They were just here to observe, and they were interested in seeing what it was all about. So you can't see that just anywhere. Really, to see people from the faith, and even not from the faith, but from other faiths, drawing from all over, that is a very important message, especially these days with all the problems in the world and all the hatred. It's really nice to see people from all walks of life and all countries and all continents coming to one place.
A good reminder for us that when God calls us, He calls all of us, not just parts and pieces of the people of the world. We're all His children. The image of God the Father in the vestibule of the Basilica is a wonderful one because He is very much that grandfatherly image that everybody feels comfortable nestling in his arms or on his lap, as much as we feel comfortable nestling in the arms of our grandmother, St. Anne.
I think that when people are in prayer, it's the differences in age and culture, you don't notice those as much. It's really one family feeling.
This is a microcosm of the family on this planet, and we forget. This is a beautiful spot to be reminded of the diversity, of the acceptance that we're supposed to emulate when we follow Jesus.
A number of times I've spoken to people who have come as tourists, and it's very interesting to watch them change even just as they walk into the basilica and see the art that's there. And I don't mean just the stuff that's on the walls and the ceiling and the statues. I mean the art of the people themselves. I find it very hard to believe that somebody could come here, experience even a small part of one of the many services, and leave here still as a tourist, admiring the style of the artwork or the manner that the mosaics were put in the wall and all of that. There has to be something touched inside so that whoever comes as a tourist leaves as a pilgrim, because they have been so profoundly touched by their experience here.
This is my summer vacation. In 1992, I was going to come to Quebec City for 3 days with a co-worker, and someone said, "Oh, while you're in Canada, take a ride out to Ste. Anne." We did, and I was here as a tourist. I took pictures, I admired the beautiful mosaics, the paintings, the beautiful buildings, and I did all the things that tourists do. Went back home and told everyone how lovely it was. 2 years after that, I had a chance to come with my parish priest and our high school youth group as a pilgrim. Our pastor led us here on a pilgrimage, and I saw a different side of St. Anne's. I came here and was reminded how to be a child of God, and I had forgotten.
The reason I keep coming back is to be recharged, to be reminded that faith is really a very simple thing. It's an experience. It's not something that we get from books or even from the artwork. It's the experience of the people. It's seeing that simple faith that they have that recharges my own faith, so that when I return home to my parishes in Massachusetts, I can minister to the people and remember and be reminded that, it's a simple life experience that we have as people of God. I've been coming with the Ahern Memorial Pilgrimage since 1990, and the first few years that I came up with them, I asked some of the people in wheelchairs why they were coming. And of course, because I'm sound in body, I would expect to hear things like, I'm hoping that my arms are healed, or that my legs are made sound, or that I'm not a paraplegic anymore. And every single one of them that I posed the question to answered with the kind of answer that sums up with, I want to make it till next year. That's what's going on with them in large part. I just want to be given the grace to make it to next year so I can come back. This year I asked during the Mass one of the pilgrims, and she said, I just want to get my faith batteries recharged. So that's really what's going on in them on the inside. And yes, perhaps some of them do want to get the physical cure as well. But it's very much an interior experience they're looking for.
Welcome, brothers and sisters, to this celebration of the anointing of the sick.
Initially, you're looking for a physical cure, but as time goes along, you realize that cures aren't for everybody. They don't hand them out like ice cream cones. The Lord doesn't, and so you somehow become in the. I think it's had a very effect on my life in many ways. It brought me out of myself. I was a little introverted with my disability, which I had since I was 4. And I think I began to grow, probably spiritually and then as a human being. And I had a little more confidence about life. I was able eventually to get to college and to get work as a guidance counselor in the high school, which I had for about 20 years.
There's a lot of cures that we probably are never written up, They go home and they feel better, and I guess there's and then there's miracles of spirituality too, because perhaps they thought, oh well, perhaps they're not as fervent and as close to God and close to the church, and then they come and they feel better when they go back.
Many people will pray for a physical cure, but more times than not, they are praying for each other. They are praying for the people who help them. They are praying for their families. They have many things that they pray for, not just a physical cure. Maybe to come back to the faith, to have somebody else come back to the faith. So not just a physical cure is the mainstay of what they're coming here for. The people that are in wheelchairs and who are sick and disabled don't consider their disability a handicap to them. They do things by going through other avenues. They seem to have adjusted well, and by their adjustment, by us seeing how they are adjusting to their disability, it helps us also adjust to the other things in life that we feel are so burdensome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful morning. Up the boat. And my first night here, one of the women in a wheelchair that's part of our pilgrimage wheeled herself over to me and asked me would I push her to Mass.
Good morning.
She adopted me after that. And I help her. I help all of the other pilgrims with our family and any other pilgrim here who needs help. This woman, Paulette, has taught me so much every time I see her here. She told me, people think I come here to pray for myself. She said, I don't pray for myself. I come here to pray for everyone else. because I'm great. I'm fine just the way I am. And she has been in a wheelchair with cerebral palsy for years and years, difficulties hearing, difficulties talking, difficulties seeing. She's great. And if she's great, you know, so are we. That's what I learn every time I'm here.
Residents, right? You've got right of way on this road, in this place, don't you? Yeah. Yeah. Good, good, good. Oh, the train's all done. You missed the train now. We've seen it every day since you've been here. Yeah. And what do you do every time it goes by? What do you do every time the train goes by? I wave to the engineer. You wave to the engineer, of course you do. And he always blows his whistle for you, doesn't he? Yeah. Bumpity, bumpity, sorry.
There are healings that take place in each of us every day that we're here. Not just when we're here, but every day that we're here. Something happens each day, something surprising. A word that somebody says to you. A feeling that comes over you that you can't stop crying all of a sudden and you don't know why. There's the miracle of the courage to do what you need to do every day, to be that child of God when you're not here. I see those miracles every day on the smiles of the people around me here.
One of my favorite stories comes from 2 years ago when I spent a lot of time here at the shrine. I was on a sabbatical. And of course, I had the opportunity to hear many confessions. And for me, those were the real miracles, the big miracles that took place. People came to confession for the first time in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, one person 50 years. And they were touched by something they experienced here that reminded them that they needed to make things good with God. They needed to unload a lot of baggage from their past and really be relieved of burdens that, in the end, they had imposed on themselves. So for me, those are the most profound miracles.
Sois béni, Seigneur, de nous rappeler que le plus beau sanctuaire, c'est celui de notre cœur. Sois béni pour tant d'amour et de confiance. Sois béni de marcher avec nous. Nous te chantons Alléluia.
One of the beauties of coming here on pilgrimage is seeing the many generations working together as though we're all the same age, whatever age that may be. Make believe we're all 20 years old or 120 years old. What unites us is the experience. We're here for common cause. We're here for that openness. We're here for that prayer-filled experience. And when we're united around that kind of a purpose with a capital P, it becomes that there's no room for any distinction between older person, younger person, person in wheelchair, person walking, or person on crutches. It's one of the beauties of coming here, and again, it's part of what charges our batteries for when we go home.
Something that stays when I leave, I don't know, I can't put it into words. There's something in my heart. It's like the Lord is more present in my heart when I leave. I'm more aware of Him and of Ste Anne just with me and guiding me day to day.
There are some events that happen in your life where afterwards you say, and after that, nothing was ever the same. That's what happens when you come here.
Guyana. Hey, the real pilgrims, the real people, they do all in the Vina. Thanks for being here. Ah, bah oui, c'est sûr. Oui, c'est oui, à toi.
Ah, il est bon.
Oh, it's very like... Super. They can't put the Lord loves you. God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you. They can't.